Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner talking home run. Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner like ooh.
All right. Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, August 28th, and this is an emergency episode of the Monday Report on a Thursday. I'm your host, H. James K., and today we are obviously talking about Micah Parsons being traded to the Green Bay goddamn Packers. Ugh. I got no script on this one. I'm going straight off the cuff, just what my thoughts are. So, to paraphrase Bill O'Reilly, fuck it, we'll do it live. Goddamn shit sucks. We'll do it live. Yeah, we're doing it live. All right, so for those of you who don't know, the Dallas Cowboys are owned by a man named Jerry Jones. He is the owner and the GM. So all financial decisions, personnel decisions, everything is on him. And that's why we're going to blame everything that happened today squarely at his feet, because it's all his fault. So, more context. Micah Parsons is one of, if not the best defensive lineman in the NFL. He is all world. He's a guy who you pay whatever he wants because he's a game changer, team maker. The kind of guy you don't just let slip out of the door. And him and Jerry Jones have been going back and forth on a contract extension for over a year. They could have re-signed him last year. They could have signed him back in freaking March. They could have done all these things, but instead this process has dragged on and on, even though other teams are signing defensive players for bigger and bigger contracts, just pushing the number Micah Parsons is going to ask for higher and higher and higher, to the point where Micah Parsons was asking to be paid more money than any non-quarterback ever in the history of football. $45 million plus. So, that's the background. A couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, the timeline's kind of murky, Jerry Jones, and this is his own report on how this went down, he approached Micah Parsons in the building, in the Cowboys building down in Fort Worth or whatever, and they had a, quote, conversation, length of contract, money, contract language, all sorts of stuff. And to Jerry Jones, that was a contract negotiation. They had negotiated. They've agreed on the deal. They just got to write it up. But Micah Parsons later on went to his agent, David Mulugeta, who is like the best agent in football right now, and told him about it. And he said, you need to tell Jerry Jones to talk to me because I'm your agent and these things have to be negotiated through me. So Micah Parsons goes back to back to Jerry Jones and says, yeah, you're going to have to talk to my agent. And Jerry Jones was, according to him, offended by this, that it was crawling back to mommy and daddy. Those are his words when something gets tough, and that he was a double cross because he felt that they had already negotiated, and now he was sending in his agent to try to bilk more money out of the Cowboys. So the Cowboys and Micah were just not talking. Now, as I said, Micah Parsons is like one of the 5 best players in the entire league. He's better than any single player on the Detroit Lions. And I'm willing to say that because he is S-tier, gold star, best of the best. I love Aiden Hutchinson, but Micah Parsons is just, he's different, you know? And I saw him at Penn State, so I know what I'm talking about. So it's looking like Micah Parsons is going to hold out. He's going to hold out. How long does he hold out? Jerry Jones says, we're going to get a deal done. Eventually, he's going to see it my way, and we're going to get a deal done. And then, last weekend in the last Cowboys preseason game, the television cameras caught Micah Parsons laying down on a training table during the game, as if he was just taking a nap. And the internet was like, oh my God, things must be so bad in the Cowboys building right now. Micah's not talking. Jerry Jones is not talking. Now they're disrespecting each other. And then about 2 days ago, weird rumors started. Yeah, what if the Cowboys traded Micah to the Packers? And everyone went, One, why would the Packers make that trade? When it's obviously going to cost them like 7 picks in a player. And others were like, why would the Cowboys ever trade it to a team in the NFC, let alone trade him at all? And that was the end of it. Like, known Packers fan Tom Grossi, even he was like, yeah, I don't think there's anything to this. It'd be cool, but the price would be too high. And that was the end of it. Then 2 days rolls around, and today it comes out that the Dallas Cowboys have traded Micah Parsons for a 2026 first-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and defensive tackle Kenny Clark, with Micah going to the Green Bay Packers along with a third-round pick. Now, let's put that in perspective. The Packers are good. They're real good, which means they're going to be picking somewhere between 20 and 32 in the first round. So those aren't even super uber value number 5 overall picks. So Jerry Jones and the Cowboys got 2 low value first round picks. And they got defensive tackle Kenny Clark. Now, defensive tackle Kenny Clark is an okay player, but he's over 30, he's a little over the hill, and worst of all for the Dallas Cowboys, he has never in his professional career logged a run defense rating higher than 61.5 out of 100, according to Pro Football Focus, which means he's okay, but he's not a good run defender. So, which would be the equivalent of like a third-round pick, fourth-round pick value, maybe, but it's not enough value to offset the fact that you're getting totally snowed. You're getting totally taken in this deal. It's amazing. So then the Packers immediately turn around and give Micah Parsons a 4-year, $188 million deal with $137 million guaranteed over those 4 years. Meaning Micah Parsons will be making $47 million a year. Every year for the next 4 years. Meaning he's the highest paid non-quarterback in history. So that's the situation. Now for my thoughts. I'm going to quote Mushu from Mulan. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Oh my God, Jerry Jones, what are you doing to me, man? The Lions opened the season in Lambeau against who? Oh yeah, the Green Bay fucking Packers. So now, the first game the Lions play, they got to face Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Thank you for that so much. Oh, that's just brilliant. And the Cowboys, you got to play the Packers too in about 5 weeks. Way to go, Jerry. You really outsmarted everyone with that one. That's some big brain thinking. Oh yeah, I'm going to trade the best player my team has had this century, and I'm going to send that motherfucker to a good team in the conference, who I have to play later this season. Oh yeah, that's brilliant, Jerry. Yeah, because your Cowboys team is so good without him. Oh yeah, they're not. You have a bad coach in Brian Schottenheimer. You have an overpaid quarterback who's made out of glass, tissue paper, and strong feelings. You have horrible depth at corner. You have D-line problems before you get to Micah Parsons no longer being there. Oh my God, what are you doing to me, Jerry? And I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and it's like, this is the stupidest trade in the history of professional sports. It's even worse than the Luka Doncic trade, which, by the way, Dallas sports fans, I am so sorry, because holy shit. You have the Luka Doncic trade this spring, and now this? Oh my God. Dallas sports fans deserve so much better than this. It's just unbelievable. So, the Packers, who I haven't really released formal predictions, but if I was going to pick the NFC North, it was going to be Bears, Packers, Vikings, Lions winning the NFC North. Now, it's probably Bears, Vikings, Packers, Lions. Because I think the Bears are going to be better. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be pretty good for the Vikings. But Micah Parsons is going to be a difference maker for the Packers, and that's worth 2 wins. That gets them from 10-7 to 11-6 or 12-5. It gets them in that ballpark, maybe. So the Lions got to play Micah Parsons. The Cowboys got to play Micah Parsons. And yeah, it's a lot of money for the Packers, but the worst part of it is, guess who's up for a contract extension? Oh yeah, Aiden Hutchinson. So now Aiden Hutchinson is going to command north of $47 million a year. Thanks, Jerry. My Lions really needed that. But we've also got to pay, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, J-Mo, freaking, there's like 3 more. I mean, we have to pay half of our good players. And now we got to also pay Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, and Brian Branch. I can't forget Brian Branch, who's only one of the most underrated safeties in the entire league. So now the Lions are going to have to pay Aiden Hutchinson like a gazillion dollars on top of all the other contracts they're going to have to make. Thanks, Jerry. Really needed that one. So that's the wider picture. But now let's talk about it from a Cowboys perspective. If Jerry Jones was going to trade Micah Parsons, you trade that motherfucker in March, before the NFL draft, when everyone has draft capital. The Packers were picking at 18. They drafted Matthew Golden, the wide receiver. Instead, you're trading Micah Parsons to a team where you don't even know what their pick is going to be next year. They could be picking 27th. So you get 2 27th overall first-round picks or whatever, What are you doing? If you're going to trade him and just punt on the season, why did you pay CeeDee Lamb like $30+ million? Why are you paying Dak Prescott $60+ million a year and you gave him a no-trade clause? What are you doing? So now the Cowboys are blowing up the season. They're just punting on the season, even though they're paying a whole bunch of people a ton of money, which is going to hurt the ability for them to rebuild. So now the Cowboys are going to be like the freaking New Orleans Saints. They're going to be in salary cap hell for the next 10 years. It makes no sense. It's one of the most brain-dead, shoot yourself in the foot and not even realize kind of decisions I've ever seen. It's just, oh my God. I was working on my book at the library. I work at the library to do my book. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to head home for the day. So I'm in the middle of Meyer when this news breaks. And I'm like, crap, I got to go home and talk about this, because as much as I don't do the whole podcast not on the Monday thing, this is like the biggest sports news in the last 10 years. Other than maybe Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers, but either way, it's the kind of thing where it's like, I had to talk about this, so here we are. But it's, man, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones needs to, I don't know if you have to take it to court to prove that he's mentally infirm, but you need to take the Cowboys away from Jerry Jones. You need to at least take personnel and that stuff away from him, because he's the worst GM in the league. He believes that the most important thing in negotiating a new contract is that the player shows deference to him, even though that's not how it works anymore. He believes that contract negotiations should be between the player and the owner, or the GM in this case, even though that and agents shouldn't be involved, even though that's a violation of the collective bargaining agreement with the NFL Players Association. It's literally not allowed. And yet that's how Jerry Jones insists on doing everything. So instead of paying Dak Prescott early and paying him $55 million, he waits till a week before the season and pays him $60 million. Did the same thing with CeeDee Lamb. What are you doing, man? Why would you do this? And you alienated the best player on your team. One of the best players in the league. How do you think that makes your team better? Shipping the best defensive player on your team, the only good pass rusher on your team. I like Mozzie Smith, but he hasn't been a good NFL player, even though he's a Michigan Wolverine. So, what are you doing, man? This is the ultimate. I just didn't want to win this year out of spite, because I gotta be right. My Fifis got hurt, so I need to prove to the whole league that I'm big bad Jerry Jones. The Cowboys are not a serious organization. I never want to hear the Dallas Cowboys are interested in winning, because they're not. Fuck that. Nuh-uh. The Cowboys are not interested in winning games. They don't want to win championships. They don't want to win Super Bowls. That doesn't matter. All that matters is getting on TV, getting ad revenue, and television viewers. That's the only thing Jerry Jones talks about. That's the only thing he cares about. Because, oh my God, you would never run an organization like this if you actually wanted to win championships. You wouldn't keep Mike McCarthy around, who's a bad coach, forever and ever and ever, and then fire him. Instead of going out and getting Ben Johnson, who's a great prospect and looks like he's going to be a good coach, you hired Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer, who's a guy who's never even been on anyone's radar for an NFL head coaching gig, because he's not head coach material. Everyone just universally agrees that he's not a good coach. And the fact that the Cowboys' practices have been a freaking disaster, and their preseason games this year have been awful. It's to the point where I'm starting to wonder if Jerry Jones is getting demented. He's old. I think he's getting up there in the 70s or maybe even the early 80s. He's getting old. And, there were times last football season where, the Cowboys are bad and people are criticizing the Cowboys and on the radio. And instead of refuting those claims, he threatened the job of the radio host on the radio station. On the local radio station. He said, "What are you guys doing here? Just making all this bad stuff about the Cowboys, blah, 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 blah." He literally called into question the job of the host. And that was a show that was his show on that radio station. So it's what are you doing? It's to the point where it's I think Jerry Jones is getting demented. And as long as he's the owner, which knowing Jerry Jones he's going to be owner for another 15 years. He'll be the owner right up until he dies. When that happens, until that happens, Cowboys, you ain't going to win a thing. Root for the Lions, root for the Bills, anyone else. Pick a new team. Because your Cowboys ain't going to win a damn thing. You're not winning. You're not winning. Oh my God, you're not winning. And it's the kind of thing where if I was Cowboys fans, I would boycott. I wouldn't wear gear. I wouldn't show up to games. I wouldn't watch on TV. Because, I'm sorry, you shouldn't support a team that doesn't care about winning. NFL fans, especially Cowboys fans, they pay too much damn money to go to a Cowboys game. It's expensive to go to a Cowboys game. That place is expensive. I've been to the Jerry Dome. It's big and it's expensive for everything. So, Dallas fans deserve better than this. What are you doing? So, boycott. Don't watch. Don't go. Don't wear the merch. Don't buy the merch. Fuck them. If they don't care about winning, then you shouldn't care about them. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and I'm pissed off about this trade. This trade makes no sense. It's negative sense. It's no, I can't say that. Never mind. I can't say that. I can't say that. Anyway, and my Lions got to play that bastard in 7 days. Not even. Freaking this weekend, I think. Yeah, Sunday. Great. That's awesome. I love, the Lions with a shaky D-line, with a shaky offensive line are going to have to play Micah Parsons week 1. Woo! Yes! That's how I wanted to start off the football season, with a Micah Parsons game. Ugh. Frickin' Packers, man. It had to be the Packers. It couldn't have been the Browns. It couldn't have been the Steelers. It couldn't have been frickin' Jacksonville. It had to be the motherfucking Packers? Really? Ugh. So disgusted. The team I hate the most gets better in a big way. And it ain't just a 1-year thing. It's going to be a 4-year thing. So they're going to get better and they're going to stay better. Thanks, Jerry. Real big brain. Good work, dude. Yep. Good work, dude. Oh, yeah, you're so smart. Ugh. Alright, so I'm going to end it there because I'm just too disgusted to talk. Regularly scheduled Monday programming will resume on Monday. Until then, thank you all for listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, everywhere else that podcasts are available. Please leave a like and share the word. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share the word, and share the video so you can spread the word of the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, my name is H. James K. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Jerry fucking Jones.